You've got an image rocking here because the camera's rightly moved, but your mask is completely broken. I mean, we can see it down there. It's down there, across there, and up there. Beardos, widows, balls, ghouls, how are you all doing? Today, we are going to be looking into Ghost Caught on Camera. Furniture moves by itself. And this is by a channel called Château de Montmagner. The French chateau. This is the second time I've seen footage from this place. But before we go any further, here's a disclaimer. The following video contains footage used under fair usage or fair dealing in the UK. This video is being used for analysis, commentary and critique. And some good old-fashioned truth hunting. Nothing here is stolen. This is, I guess you could call it content forensics. If something looks paranormal, then people are going to analyse it. And if something looks edited, which in this case it does, we're definitely going to analyse that. So sit back, enjoy the breakdown, and remember, ghosts ain't the only thing that can be transparent in these videos. Okay, so we are here in this bedroom. I'm not going to show the rest of the footage. The only thing that's interesting me is they set flour up on the table to see if they can capture handprints or something. And there's 4 different angles of the same room, which is incredible. This is perfect. This is exactly how you would want something to be set up for a paranormal investigation, with specific claims are things move in this room. So they've covered as many angles as they can. Just before we get into it, Mike has already covered this, and I pretty much agree with Mike, but I was watching on my phone, so I didn't see as much detail, but I could see what Mike was pointing out. Now, the first thing I notice is they say they leave these cameras up overnight. This camera in the top right, as I look at it, that's a mobile phone. That on record, even in 1080 or 720p, isn't lasting all night. There's no cable that I can see plugged into there. Doesn't mean there's not. Maybe they've taped it to the... But they haven't. I can't see any sort of tape or anything. I can't really see the other cameras, but... Oh, there's one there. That's a different camera. Is that some sort of trail camera or ring doorbell, maybe? That'll last, but it'll only pick up on movement. It won't record 24/7. The second you do that, and you set it to record everything, the battery's dead within hours. So we can't really see what the other... That's some sort of GoPro. I don't know how long that will last, but I doubt it will last all night. So immediately, without things being plugged in, how are they storing this level of footage and this many hours off these cameras? Maybe they can answer that, because I've seen them comment back to Mike. Maybe don't call somebody an idiot when they've clearly got you rumbled. Apologise if you can hear the sniffing. I've changed my filters on my microphone. Hopefully it's cutting that out. But as for the wheezing and the weird voice, I can't do nothing about that, I'm afraid. So, this, if real, is absolutely incredible. A chair with 4 cameras trained on it has slid. Absolutely incredible. So while all 4 cameras are up at the same time, let's see if anything is out of time or if it's all in time, because if all in time, it lends credibility to it. So here we see the camera that's on the mount on the table wobble, and on this we see that wobble. It's not quite as pronounced there, but obviously this looking in on the table is going to be more pronounced. It's closer. It's taking this shake a bit more. So frame by frame, all 4 of these cameras are perfectly in sync. There's nothing in the frame there to suggest that these were filmed at different times and then edited. Fantastic. I mean, already there's something screwy going on. This could just be artifacting, but the table seems to lift or bend there. It's all going out of shot there, all wobbling. Yet this fireplace area... Yeah, look at that. A lot of movement there, yet nothing shifts up there. So there's some things to look at. Maybe it's just the focal point of the camera. But to analyse this, as all 4 screens, the same thing happening at the same time, Yes. Now, obviously, the chair is finished moving, but this camera is still wobbling from the impact of the table shunting. Absolutely fine. Brilliant. Could say incredible. Could. Right, the pillow up there. But there was an issue with that, I think. So frame by frame in to find the movement. There. Again, this floor shifts. This shadow and the wallpaper shifts. Just as that string comes into view. There's a string there. This pillow hasn't started to move yet. There's a little bit of movement on the corner. That is the wire or the string pulling tight, in my opinion. So how would you do this? I mean, somebody in between these two beds. No need for masking, no need for wire removal, because they haven't realised that there's a wire caught in the frame there. Right across that edge of the bed. There. Nothing there, but the way this chair is, this... Basically, there could be somebody hidden in between these beds, and we can't see them, and just pull a string down this way, they're laying on the floor. Clever camera angles, because you can't see it there either, potentially. Can I prove it? No, because I can't see anyone. But what I can see is a string. That is a wire. That's glinting when it's pulled tight. But again, if somebody is down in these, between these beds and pulling a string, you may not see it on here, or this is from a different time frame completely, because nothing is moving in the frame for me to be able to line it up. I'm not saying that's what they've done. It could just be that a wire has pulled this pillow, because it's this bed, and we just can't see it. But it'll come from the pillow there and across and down here. There is 100% a glint there. If it had just been some form of glint and it wasn't directly attached to that corner, I'd be a bit more like, I don't know if we can call that, but it's on that corner where the pulling motion comes from across the bed. It's a wire glint, 100%. So now she's looking at every individual angle, and this is where she comes a bit of a cropper, as we would say in the UK. So, before this chair moves, this is something I believe Mike picked out, was the carpet there. Now, I've had 5 or 6 emails asking me to look at this, saying they can see a wire going under the rug. I can't see a wire going under the rug. I'm in the YouTube premium bitrate, so the footage is never going to look any better than this. So let's check out this chair. There. See the way that carpet changes shape there? The way the camera sort of bounces. Yeah, that's quite prominent there. So, just before that chair moves, the carpet changes physics. Now, could that be some form of camera artifacting? I guess. But I've seen this type of thing happen before. In fact, I might be able to show you if I still got the footage. So we'll go to the chair. Chair starts to move. Obviously, it's banged the table there, so it's gone with some force. It's shunted the table. Everything else in the room is still... It's pulsing on the wallpaper there. But everything else in the room is still moving as it should be. So that's the movement off that one camera. That carpet there, pulsing like that. Let me check. So here's my editing software. This is something I was going to do for a Christmas special, and I've made the same mistake that they made. I used a wire removal tool. So this teddy bear there is going to shift. And to try and hide it, I put a film grain over there and all sorts. It's meant to be a funny video. You see that? I used a wire removal tool and it's warped the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree steps out. But the wire removal, because basically there's a floodlight there, I tried to hide the wire glint. I should have turned that light off before I did it. But when I did the wire removal tool, because the glint was so bad and the wire tracked, it's pushed all of this out. So, bizarrely, this is before the Château video. You can see me coming out of frame there. Press record, I go out of the room, and I reach my hand in. I've obviously moved the whiteboard, and I turn the lights on and off, which is something that's done in this video. The whole time this is on, there's a string around the back of this bear's hat, looped around the back of this bear and out through the room. But look, that little wire when it lifts and glints is so obvious that I tried everything to mask it with the wire removal. And the wire removal did that. It warped this area, which to me is exactly what's happened to that carpet. This carpet has gone against physics. It's done something it shouldn't do. Carpets don't warp shape all of their own accord. That, to me, is the wire removal failing, and it's pulled there. So somebody has got a wire coming through this area. So why would that carpet be morphing? And it does it there as well. Well, if you were to tie a string around the front right leg as we look at it, and then come around this table leg for leverage and pull it over here, somebody stood with their back to the wall, give it a pull there. That is why, in my opinion, that weird pulse is there. That's why the carpet just bends against physics. It's the wire removal. As they've gone to pull the wire tight, it's coming to short. They've used the wire removal. It's morphed the carpet, much like it morphed my Christmas tree. Obviously, the Christmas tree morph was far more pronounced because I've got a big spotlight there. There's a spotlight there. They were both on. And there's Christmas tree lights down there. So the glint was everywhere. If I hadn't had as many lights on, it wouldn't have made as much of a mess. But the tree potentially still would have warped somewhere as the wire pulls and the programming tries to keep up with the wire pull. Okay, this is another angle of it. So it's this chair that pulls. So we can't see any of what was warping here. So this camera angle is kind of useless for debunking, but for their evidence, it's fantastic. It shows the top of the chair moving, but we can't see the bottom. It's not very well lit at all. And obviously, there's no need for any masking here, because the person is out of sight, off camera to the right as we look at it. There's no need to mask anything. The string is out of sight because of the camera angle. This has been quite elaborately put together, I would argue. Now, this camera angle should capture that person perfectly by the look of this. Let's go. Okay, so this camera angle should see a person stood there. That's where I believe this person is. There's a wire around this chair leg, around this table leg, and being pulled up there. That's what warps this carpet. If that carpet warp is there in real time, we should see it on this camera. And they'll have to be very careful with masking because there are reflections there, and there's a lot of reflective surfaces here. So let's take this one frame by frame. Okay, so before this chair moves, I can't see any movement at all. But as Mike has said from real evidence, there is a hard line down there and across this floor. A hard line. And that hard line is not changing with the frames. It's not artifacting. So that carpet moving in this frame in the exact same direction means it's not a wire removal tool. To match that in both shots would be incredibly difficult. This carpet bulge has got me confused now. So I thought this carpet bulge was a mask fail on the first camera angle, but it happens in this one, so it's not Okay, so that plant is shifted up there. There's a change in the reflection there. Change there. I've seen the person argue what sort of string could pull that hard oak chair. Fishing string. But I don't know if there's more to it than that. I mean, that hard line there. I mean, look at this around the chair. And the table hits this carpet, and that's what's caused that to bunch. Is this table leg hitting the carpet? But it's moved too early. So it's not a wire removal tool. It's masking. They've masked somebody out. This chair moves. So they've masked somebody out. They move the chair, whether it's by wire or even their hands on the back of it. There's a way you could do it if you were really careful with rotoscoping. You could be down here on your hands and knees and give it a twist. We can't definitively see, but it looks like there is a hard cut line there for a mask, and it runs up that cabinet. To me, there's somebody hidden there, probably with a wire. So just in editing, I took their original shot and I've remasked it and then put them closer together to how they should be. You'd be looking at that now. But the damning bit is that carpet there. On both angles. That carpet bunches and there's nothing to cause that carpet to bunch there. Because that chair has only just started moving. It hasn't impacted the table, which is touching the carpet. But when we get to this point, the chair slides and hits the carpet. That's what should have caused that ripple in the carpet. It's bunched the carpet up. But it's already rippled before the table moves, meaning there's two shots playing. There's a clean plate of that table already moved and the carpet being bunched up. And when that snaps on, the carpet just randomly goes into the shape it ends at. So, in my opinion, Mike is 100% right. There's a cut down there. Somebody stood there and they've used a wire on one of these legs. I would imagine this one used the table leg as leverage, yanked it up this way. But the wire removal fail I thought I saw wasn't. It's a masking fail. That this carpet moved too early. But yeah, look at the... absolutely. You can't argue this. Let's go back. Now this black thing is whole there, as far as we can see. We get to this camera angle. What the hell is that? There's a line all through there. Why would there be a line all through there? Let's change the shape of that. Run all down there. That is not a wire removal tool, I don't think. Let's go frame by frame. Did you see that? Obviously, I'll blow this up for you in editing. But watch this shunt here. There. Look at that. 3/4 of the image is tilting and twisting, yet this bit doesn't. There's your mask line. There's your two videos playing at the same time. Look at that. Now, these people have been in Mike's comment section calling him an idiot. I'm sorry, but look, your cupboard is broke. Your cupboard is broke there. This run of the cupboard drawer is completely above that one. This cupboard is moving. Yet this bit that's supposed to be joined on is not. This is breaking the rules of physics. You've got an image rocking here because the camera's rightly moved, but your mask is completely broken. I mean, we can see it down there. It's down there, across there, and up there. So I've sharpened this up in my OBS. Just look how clean that line is there now. Look at that rock in motion. That is 100% two videos playing at the same time. This entire thing is masked out. So I thought somebody was masked out back there. They're not. They're up there. That's why this line cut is there. There's somebody stood up there. They've used the table leg and the chair for leverage, and it's bunched up the carpet. So the things they've said online to people questioning them, they've fought back quite a bit with a bit of oomph. You can't deny this. You cannot deny that break there and up that cupboard there. That is 100% a masked out area. There is less than a quarter of your video has been completely masked out in editing, post-production, in order for you to sell this as a legitimate haunted venue. Now, I'm being very careful how I say things lately, and I'm not going to be calling things out for fake without being 100% correct. And I am 100% correct, as was Mike. This was a bin. It can't break like that. These bricks cannot have that straight line. Those floors will not have that straight line, and this cupboard cannot be broken like that. You've got a perfect off-center rectangle mask. Look at it. Look at the state on this. This entire image, when the chair hits that table leg, bang. The entire image is jerking all over the place. But this cupboard is moving. Well, the cupboard's not moving. The camera's moving. Yet, look at it. Why is this portion of the cupboard completely still? All of this up here. You can see the mask breaking. That's not a potential debunk. That is 100% masking. Without fail. At all, whatsoever. You have been absolutely caught with your pants down there. Your mask has broken because you shunted the camera. All of this movement here, look at it. Look at it. The cheek that you people have had to go at a debunker for calling this out when clearly you've pasted two videos together. There's the line. And there's the line in the cupboard. You've got somebody hidden back here pulling a wire. And the viciousness of you to call somebody an idiot and leave this in is mind-boggling. You can't even have an out that your editor has done this. Because what have they masked out? There would have been somebody stood there. You've been absolutely caught. I've had a look at the comments. They're getting decimated. Everyone has been like, yeah, it looks believable on a phone, but as soon as you put on a 4K TV, yeah. I've got a very good gaming monitor here. And obviously my OBS system up here. So there we go, 100% fake. I've checked on the 4K monitor. This is a Ultra HD, ultra wide. I've checked on both monitors. The masking is just so blatantly obvious to anyone that knows what they're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, you can see that shift. So do please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Don't go over to the channel leaving negative comments and stuff. They're getting enough cack. And that's before my video has gone out, so you can't blame me, but that is 100% faked. I'm being very careful in what I say is 100% fake these days, given recent events. That is 100% fake. There is evidence in this video that is proving that this video has been tampered with in editing. Hard cut lines of two videos playing at the same time. So let me know your thought of the breakdown of Château de Montmagner. Hopefully my voice will be back soon. Much love to you all. Beardo out. Alright guys, Future Beardo here. Wasn't entirely happy with my debunk, and I've asked a friend his opinion on some of the debunks, and initially he thought I was wrong. We've gone back through the footage, and I'm 100% correct, and in order to prove that I'm 100% correct, in order to have that level where I can say 100% debunk, there's some other things that show exactly what's going on in this video. So the mask where I thought it was is indeed a mask where I thought it was. We've looked at all the other possibilities. Could it have been caused by a crack in the sensor of the camera, and when the table moves, that crack in the sensor has caused what looked like two videos? There was numerous reasons for us to look at that. But what I want to draw your attention to is in this shot here, 8:30, I think we got 8:34. This. If you were recording evidence or potential paranormal evidence in a room, why would you use your phone with the worst camera facing out? This way. Why would you do that and not that, where you can get 4K, 8K footage, 60 frames a second? Why would you use the self-facing camera? There's only one reason that you would use the worst camera on your phone to film something, and it's so you can see yourself. It's a selfie camera. The person is off there. This camera is for them to see if they've caught themselves on camera at all. They can check their positioning through this selfie-facing camera. But unfortunately, they have caught themselves on this self-facing camera. There. Go to 0834. There's this black blob, and then there's this, and I believe this is the cupboard area. What's that area? We'll just skip forward a few frames here. Whatever that is in the center of the screen has moved from almost central to over here, like they've leaned back, and they move in time with the chair. Is that enough, do you think? But what about this? So obviously, the self-facing phone, so they that are hiding over here in the masked out area can see where they are off this camera. Here we've got a window. Now, you have to understand that I think there's a string around the front chair there, around this table leg, and it's been pulled up this direction behind the wall. Somebody hiding between the cabinet and the curtain. Reflections. I missed this earlier. I looked at this sort of white blob you can see there. I looked at that white blob and thought that potentially that was the reflection of a person, but it's not. It's a constant. But what happens when you start going forward a few frames? Somebody's arm and head comes into vision. Oh, I'm in slow motion and frame by frame in. Uh-oh. That looks like a person and an arm doing this. And amazing how that comes into shot. And then moves there. See that movement? That's a reflection. The chair moves. That person disappears. Just to double down on it, we'll watch it in slow motion. We'll mute it. So the chair has moved here. Somebody starts to appear in this window. There they are, fully visible. Reflection in the window. Them hiding over in this corner. And then the chair moves. There's the carpet pull. Chair's going to move any second now. Chair moves. This person pulls out of shot as the chair moves. As that chair slides out, this person does that. So all these camera angles, which were initially put in to make it look completely believable, is actually what's caught them out. From a different the glare of the phone screen from this way, we can't see that person. But from this camera angle over this way somewhere, we could see it. From this camera angle we're on now, we can see somebody's reflection in the window. All of that, this shot here gives it away as well. We look at the curtain, we look at this cabinet, we think there is somebody stood there, in between that curtain and the cabinet, and that's what that mask was for. To hide them and their shadow. We've seen the break. There's a break up the floor there. But then when we play this forward, so when that chair moves, why is the curtain moving? There. The shadow is bent on this curtain. The shadow has changed up there. That means there's somebody moving that has changed. And then we look at the window frame. There. That window frame is shifting. There's a shadow moving there. The window itself moving. Just as that chair starts to move. I'm 100% convinced that's what it is. And then this blatant mask there. There's a person stood in this area hiding. Absolutely convinced of it.